Good morning. So, stop masticating in the morning. What on earth am I talking about? I hope you're not too overly excited about the content of this video. It's not a spelling error. Mastication is actually a real word. It's kind of fun to say because it freaks people out a little bit. It's the scientific term for chewing. Sorry if you thought the video was going to be about something else, but please stay with me because this is really useful information. So mastication, chewing, and why we don't want to be chewing in the morning. This is all about liquid breakfast. So this is my smoothie. It's not looking fabulous today. It looks, however, it's going to look depending on what I put in it on any given day. But I decided to prescribe to the advice of liquid before lunch, particularly on work days, probably, nearly 2 years ago now. And it really was a game changer for me in the morning. I didn't like the idea of fasting in the morning unless I was on a fasting day because I'm a Vata body type. I have a very, very active, demanding job that needs me to be on right away, and it's very draining. So I need fuel for that in the morning. The problem was, particularly on work days, it's a really, really stressful day. You know, there's lots of stuff going on, a lot of things that have to happen in order for you to get out of the house early and ready for your day. And sometimes breakfast, I'm just going to put that down because I talk with my hands and it's a little bit hazardous. So sometimes that time of the morning in particular, it's a time where we're going to be very, very stressed. And stress and eating don't go together because they're basically two complete opposite sides of our nervous system. So when we're stressed, we're not actually supposed to be digesting anything, because if you go back to the Neanderthal time when we were running away from the saber-toothed tiger or whatever fear-based threat there was in that moment, we don't want to be consuming energy by digesting food. So that's why our sympathetic nervous system will switch on when we're needing to run away, fight, flight, or freeze. And our parasympathetic nervous system for rest and digest will actually switch off. So the sympathetic response is the appropriate one so that we can actually run away from that stressful stimulus. So we don't necessarily have wild animals chasing us in the morning, but we've probably got a series of events that are really, really stressful in modern life. Things like maybe just getting yourself ready to get out of the door on time. Maybe you've got little people that you have to get ready to get out of the door on time as well. Possibly you've got a very stressful commute, whether you're stuck in traffic or you have multiple public transport options that you need to navigate that are sort of a little bit out of your hands. And then you may actually have a job that you're going to that you really don't love and that causes you a lot of stress. Or on a particular day, you might have a really stressful work day ahead. If you've got a particular meeting or something that's a little bit more demanding of you. So when you're heading into your day in that way, if you have a very heavy, solid food, whole food kind of breakfast, then that can sometimes just sit in your stomach and in your digestive system because it's not actually able to be digested because you are in a state of stress. So that system that's digesting your breakfast is going to be taking a back seat. So what this can lead to is you're actually not necessarily assimilating the nutrition from that food. It can lead to lethargy, that need for that kind of mid-morning coffee, because your energy will just be fairly low all day because your poor body is trying to actually digest that food in a state of a stressed nervous system. And then that can be compiled when you're then having a stressful lunchtime and then you're stressed getting home and dinner on top. So it actually means that you're piling a lot of nutrition and food into your system that may not actually be able to be utilized in the best way. So one of the most simplest adaptations to this is liquid before lunch. And it's been a game changer for me because I do have a stressful morning that I head into most days. And the smoothie has just been a blessing because it is so simple. Now, in the beginning, I thought it was going to be super challenging for me because I really do enjoy breakfast. And particularly in the winter months, the idea of having a cold liquid smoothie when your body's really wanting carbohydrate and a hot breakfast, that was going to be a challenge for me. But I've worked through it slowly but surely, and I've got a few tips for you today. So one of the things I love about smoothies is you can really get your nutrition for the day packed in from the get-go. So it doesn't matter, the rest of your day is out of your hands. You can't necessarily get a healthy lunch or dinner is going to be takeaway because it's a crazy day. If you've had your nutrition at breakfast and you've really packed that in, then you're kind of set for the day, and you can do that really easily by having a complete nutritional powder as your smoothie base. Protein powders are one way. Some of those are really, really heavy in protein, and just be mindful of the whey protein, which is a wheat-based protein, and that's not going to be great for a lot of digestive systems out there. And particularly for plant-based people, then you want to be looking for something that's plant-based. The hemp proteins are an amazing option. Pea proteins are also another option, and sometimes there's a rice-based protein. But you don't just want your protein. If you can get something with essential vitamins and minerals incorporated within that powder, then you're good to go. You're at least getting yourself started with your essential vitamins and minerals for the day. For me as well, I really like to put an all-in-one sort of fruit and vegetable powder in my smoothie on days that I know that I'm not going to get a lot of that fruit and vegetable content in my diet. So I've got that added extra. I also go for my seed cycling in my smoothie. So I've previously done a video on seed cycling. Please check it out if you're a lady. It'll be really useful for your hormonal regulation. So I get my seeds in there in my smoothie from the beginning. So I pulverize those down a bit first, and then I add the rest of my smoothie ingredients. You can go all out with extra adaptogens like maca, cordyceps, the mushroom, the reishi blends. Go crazy, put whatever you want in there. But it's just this amazing ability of your body to assimilate that nutrition in the best way rather than trying to have solid food. So that's why if you don't really remember anything else from this video series, a really, really good one to remember is to stop masticating in the morning. So see if you can apply this liquid before lunch. The one other thing I will mention is this problem in winter with feeling like you don't want to have a cold smoothie. It's actually really, really easy to have kind of a body temperature or slightly warmer smoothie. So you can prepare all of your smoothie ingredients and leave them sort of sitting in the blender for half an hour or so before you actually make your smoothie and take it, maybe on your commute with you. You can also make sure that you don't sort of use ice cold ingredients. So I do use frozen berries from time to time, but I make sure that I leave them out, get them up to room temperature first. You can also blend it for a longer period of time. Like, it's just blended, guys. You're not going to ruin it by like over blending it. Once it's blended, it's blended. I don't know if that's a word. So what that does though is because of the high energy of your blender, it's actually causing some kinetic energy and heating your food through that option. So it's going to actually make it a little bit warmer again. And the other option, if you do have a really, really fancy blender or food processor, such as the Vitamix or Thermomix, I have a Thermomix. I just started actually just dialing up the temperature to 37 degrees. That's sort of roughly the body temperature of a human being. And I'd make my smoothie, and then after the smoothie was all blended, I just dial up for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes at 37 degrees just to get it that little bit of warmth through. It's not gross. It sounds like it might be gross, but it's not. It's just body temperature. And from an Ayurvedic perspective, it's much, much better for your digestion because we don't want cold fluids in the body because it actually extinguishes your digestive fire. So lots of angles you can look at this from. So liquid before lunch, try smoothies for breakfast and see how you go. I'm sure it will make a dramatic difference to your day from an energy point of view, from a vitality point of view, but make sure you give it, maybe a couple of weeks to really notice that difference and go back and have your super fun, solid food breakfast on weekends as a treat. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. Take care. Bye.